Hello everyone, this is part 4 of What If Naruto Went Back to the Past, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Are you serious? Asked Tsunade as Jiraiya stood in front of her. Yes, they killed one member of the Akatsuki and sent the other running, and the next day they destroyed an entire sound base in under an hour, said Jiraiya. He was not as surprised as Tsunade because he had time to think on it. I just can't believe that Naruto and Sakura could kill so easily even if it's the job. Tsunade spoke sadly. Their attitudes are completely different in battle than when they aren't in battle, said Jiraiya. During battle they are blood hungry and they show no mercy. I guess that is what happened during a war like theirs, they had to get used to king without thought, said Tsunade. Still, it is scary that they can do that. I know, but they are still themselves under their armor and I believe that they will turn back to their normal selves. I just look at what Minato was like during the Konoha-Iwa War and how fast he went back to himself after it was won, said Jiraiya as Tsunade nodded her head. Okay then, I still want you to follow them, find out who the traitor was, said Tsunade as Jiraiya walked toward the window, and before jumping out of the window he placed his hand on her shoulder. Don't worry, they will be fine, said Jiraiya as soon as he left. Tsunade placed her hand on the spot where Jiraiya's hand used to be. He can be sweet when he isn't being a pervert, thought Tsunade with a smile with her eyes closed. Now only if he could learn to use a door. Miles away. So we are dealing with time travelers, said a voice as he stood in a dark cave. Yes, I don't think we can take the Kyuubi until we get the others, said Deidara. We won't get the Kyuubi, said a new voice. And how do you know that, Itachi? Said Deidara. Unlike you, Deidara, I have a spy in the Leaf Village. He has informed me that the Kyuubi isn't inside Naruto Uzumaki anymore, said Itachi. Then explain how they used the chakra of the Kyuubi, said Deidara. Turns out that the Naruto made a deal with the Kyuubi. What you saw is a bloodline limit. The Kyuubi now rest in the summoning world, said Itachi. Also the spy has informed me of their targets. What are their targets? Asked a female voice. Mainly the Sound and us, said Itachi. Why would they be after us? If we can't get the Kyuubi, then it is pointless to mess with the Leaf Village. We can't bring peace to this land by destroying it, said the female. Our goal is to make the ultimate weapon to force an end to all wars. The reports say that we were the key to a sound victory over them, said Itachi. I would never make an alliance with Orochimaru, said their leader. I know pain, but if their reports are to be taken at face value, my little brother KS me and takes my ring, said Itachi as he held up his hand with the ring on it. Then using the power of the Yamato no Orochi contained inside, he KS you and takes your ring, making him our leader. He then made the Akatsuki into the Sound elite forces that he used to destroy the Leaf Village. Well, it is good for us that the Uzumaki killed your brother, said Pain. There is one more thing I have to tell you, said Itachi. Speak. The Uzumaki isn't an Uzumaki, he is a Namikaze, said Itachi as Pain clearly widened in eyes. What? Said Pain, shock in his voice, and his face was visible that too. He is the son of Minato Namikaze, said Itachi. He is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Very well, leave all of you, I will give you orders later, said Pain as all but the female left. I said leave. Now Pain, why would I do that? You said when we were kids you always think better when you talk to me, said the female. Fine, you can stay, Conan, said Pain. So what are you going to do? Asked Conan as she moved toward her childhood friend and the only real friend she had in this world. We are going to village hidden in the leaves, said Pain. Are you sure you want to do that? Said Conan. Do I have to tell you what they did? I think I know the rest of my own story, Conan, ordered Pain. Just reminding you, said Conan. I have to confirm if what Itachi said is true. Is he really Naruto Namikaze? Said Pain. Okay then, we will head to the Leaf Village, said Conan. In the Leaf Village, sir, what are we going to do? Asked a Root Anbu member as he stood in front of Danzo in the Root headquarters. Nothing, said Danzo as the Anbu looked stunned. Don't look so surprised, he and his wife are now among the most powerful ninjas in the world. This bloodline limit of theirs is the key to this village ruling the ninja world. Imagine in a few years once their clan grows. The descents will become our perfect weapons. I understand, Zir, said the Anbu before leavening. They will be our perfect weapons, said the old war hawk with a smile. In the land of rice fields, Orochimaru sat in his base reading over the report that Kabuto gave him about the Kyuubi. This is not good. How could the Kyuubi be inside of someone other than that little blonde hair boy? I can explain that, said a voice from the darkness. Orochimaru looked up to see a dark figure standing there. He was dressed in black pants with a deep shade of purple slash in the around his waist. He had a black shirt only, it was completely open. Then the figure walked completely into the light to show his black hair and his red Sharingan eyes. Sasuke? Asked Orochimaru astonished. Yes, said Sasuke before he disappeared and ran his sword through the gut of Snake Sanin. How? We thought you were S. Orochimaru said as he looked into the red eyes of the Sharingan. I would have been, but that loser Naruto and his team when they used a jutsu to travel back in time to stop me from destroying the Leaf Village. We knew that we couldn't stop them from doing that, so we formed a plan. We used our own jutsu to go through the time hole they opened. Only we appeared later than they did. I woke up underground in the coffin where they placed my old body, said Sasuke. We? Asked Orochimaru as a new figure appeared in the background. She was dressed in all black pants, a dark grey tie tank top with fish netting over the top half showing off cleavage. She also had black coat with grey endings and around her end was a sound headband. Her black hair and black clothing clashed with her pale white eyes. You're a Hyuga. Not anymore, I am Hinata Uchiha, second in command of all sound forces, said Hinata with a grin that even made Orochimaru cringed, and you are being replaced. With that, black tattoos started to run across the woman's face. As she raised her arm, a dozen snakes shot out of her stabilive and started taking small bits out of Orochimaru's face as soon as the snakes finished the job and returned to her hand. Sasuke looked at her before returning his sword to its sheath. Thank you, dear husband, for letting me take the K, said Hinata as Sasuke turned off his Sharingan. It is your birthday, woman, and I had the pleasure of doing it last time, said Sasuke. Now let's get all the demons and rule the world. We won't even have to deal with the Akatsuki this time. I am surprised, dear husband. I thought you would want to K your brother in this timeline, said Hinata. No, I K'd him once. This time I want him to live in fear like I did when I was younger, then I will K him, said Sasuke. Sounds fun, Hinata said with a smile. But first we have to get the Biju. You know we will not be able to get those once those goody two shoes have them sealed, said Hinata. Do you think I don't know that? Yelled Sasuke. Just reminding you, my dear husband, said Hinata, we will just have to K those demons they sealed so that they can't challenge us. True, but first I have a mission for you, said Sasuke. Does it involve King? I am afraid not. He spoke sadly. But those are my favorite types of mission, said Hinata with a pout. There will be plenty of time for King when we attack the Leaf Village again, however this mission requires your special touch, said Sasuke. I know something else that needs my touch first. What? Asked Sasuke as Hinata stepped up to her husband. Well, we have been busy destroying the Leaf Village, and taking over the world. We haven't had fun in a while, said Hinata as she ran her finger, which now had black fingernail polish, across his chest. Fine, but after that I want you to complete your mission, said Sasuke. Have I ever let you down, my lord? Said Hinata. No, you haven't, said Sasuke with a smile as they went to do mature activities. Leaf Village. The next day, a young version of Hinata walked into the Yamanaka flower shop. Ino was sitting there read a book. Oh, hey Hinata, what are you up to? Nothing much, I am still trying to get over losing Naruto-kun, said Hinata as she looked at the floor. Well, to tell you the truth, I never thought you looked good with Naruto. He is way too active for you, said Ino before she placed her hand on her chin. Come to think of it, we don't really know what those guys are like now. Maybe we should convince them to have a get-together at Naruto-kun's and Sakura's place, said Hinata. You know what, that is a very good idea. I mean, they have their own place. I am sure they have room, said Ino. I will ask Sakura if we can go over there later today. You go check on the others, see if they are available. I will see if it's okay with Sakura. Sounds good, Ino, said Hinata with a smile that turned into a grin the moment Ino couldn't see her. Everything is going to plan. Now for part 2. Soon we will see this village burn once again. Well, everything seems ready, said Sakura as she placed some food on the table. I see, said Naruto as he stood behind her and his arms around her before pulling her toward him. Sakura became calm. We will have to be careful about what we say, Sakura-chan. You don't think I know that, Naruto-kun? With a grin as she reached around and pulled his head lower as she titled her head up so that they could kiss. They just stood there kissing for a bit before the doorbell rang. The two Namikazes separated and walked to the door only to find all their friends plus their senseis. Meanwhile, Tsunade sat in her office was looking over some paperwork when she heard a knock. Enter. The door slowly opened and an Anbu walked in. Lady Hokage, we have had a break in the records. It was more than likely some genin playing a prank, but still hunt them so that they can be taught a lesson, said Tsunade. Lady Hokage, I don't think you understand. There was a break in the S-ranked section and 2 Anbu guards were killed. What? Said Tsunade. No genin could kill 2 Anbu. Yes, the 2 Anbu that were guarding the room were killed, but we don't know how, said the Anbu. Let's go, said Tsunade as she and the Anbu members left her office and a few minutes later appeared outside the record room. There were a half a dozen Anbu there, some checking to see what was taken, others studying the scene. Let me see. With that, the Anbu moved away from the bee to show what was left of them. Their nose, ears and eyes had blood pouring out. Lady Hokage, I have never seen anything like this before. I have no clue what did this, said the Anbu medic. I do, it is a jutsu designed by Orochimaru to be a painful but silent death, said Tsunade. It shots a snake up the nose of the victim. The snake, once up the nose, begins to eat the brain, starting with the speech control. They live for about 5 minutes as the snake slowly eats the brain and they feel it all. Tsunade explained the turn to another Anbu. What did they take? Strange, they only took scroll number 1896, said the Anbu member as suddenly 2 white snakes came out of the victims' noses. Those things, I need to see Naruto, said Tsunade as she ran to Naruto's house. When the door opened, she saw all the genin and their senseis all at the same place. Tsunade, what are you doing here? Asked Naruto. I think Orochimaru is or has been in the village. He used his Gehun's jutsu on the guards outside the records. He took the scroll with the time travel jutsu on it, said Tsunade. Are you sure that it was Orochimaru? Asked Kakashi. He is the only one who knows that jutsu, said Tsunade. What color were the snakes? Asked Naruto, afraid of what the answer would be. White, said Tsunade as Naruto and Sakura's eyes turned red and narrowed. Temari's and Shikamaru's eyes narrower as well. How long have you been here, Uchiha? Asked Naruto as everyone looked around the room for a while. No one spoke. Naruto, what are you talking about, you kid Sasuke-kun? Said Ino as everyone else has wanted to know what Naruto was talking about. I won't ask again. How long have you been in the past, Uchiha? Said Naruto as he glared at Hinata. I am surprised that it took you this long to figure out I was here, Namikaze, said Hinata as she started laughing in a tone that turned the ninjas who hadn't heard it before blood to ice. Hinata, what are you talking about? Asked Kiba as he took a step toward her. Kiba, get back, yelled Temari, making Kiba froze in his tracks. Why? It is only Hinata, asked Kiba. That isn't the Hinata you know, it is the Hinata from our timeline, said Shikamaru as Hinata grinned. But you said Hinata S in a sound ambushed, said Ino. She didn't S in an ambushed, she set it up, said Sakura as everyone looked at her. Hinata had this smirk on her face. You know what, Kiba, you had the same look on your face now as you did when you realized that I had lead you and Shino into a trap, said Hinata. You're the traitor in the reports, said Tsunade as Hinata grinned before the sweet little girl disappeared in a puff of smoke. In her place stood a tall woman dressed mainly in black with a sound headband around her neck. Yes, I am, and it will be so much fun to watch you guys S all over again. Hinata spoke with a far-off look, imagining their previous deaths and then the new ones that they could be in. How did you get to the past? Asked Guy. Thanks to you actually, said Hinata as she looked at her black nails. You know, Guy, you could never keep your big dumb mouth shut, and thanks to you, me and my lord were in place and waiting for you fools to open the door into the past. However, since you guys walked though the time door first, you got here first, but that doesn't matter now, does it? I see, so Sasuke came back with you, said Sakura as Hinata started laughing. Of course he came back with me at the moment he is taking his place as leader of the sound. He even let me kill Orochimaru yesterday. He also gave me this mission. Hinata said as she pulled out 2 scrolls. I think you know what these are. The scrolls with instructions for using the time travel jutsu, said Naruto. Yes, the one from this time and the one that you brought with you from our time. Now you see them, now you don't. With that white snake shot out of Hinata's palms destroying the scrolls before returning to her palm. We can't have you go into the past again, can we? So you're from the future too? Asked Ino. I thought we had already established that you blonde hair be, snapped Hinata. Wait, you called her Uchiha? Hinata is a Hyuga, said Kurenai as she looked at Naruto then back at the woman who claimed to be her grown student. I called her by her name, isn't that right, Hinata? Said Naruto as he looked at the woman in front of him. For once in your pitiful life you are correct, but maybe I should reintroduce myself to those in this timeline who don't know me. You knew me as Hinata Hyuga, but now I am second in command of all sound forces. Now my name is Hinata Uchiha, wife of Sasuke Uchiha, ruler of the Sound Village. I am also the destroyer of the Sand Village, Kurov. Skip the list of all the people you killed, we already know that, said Temari as Hinata grinned. Ah, but I so love saying the names even though I am having trouble remembering them all now. You know, once you go over 1,000 it is hard to keep the names straight. Maybe it would just be easier to remember just a number and only say the important people, like your brothers, said Hinata with a grin as Shikamaru grabbed his wife's hand before she had a chance to attack Hinata. Wait, can you go back to being married to Sasuke-kun? Asked Ino. Don't worry about that now, Ino, we are up against one of the strongest ninjas in the world, said Sakura as she glared at the woman. So Hinata, how do you expect to get out of here? We outnumber you. You are going to let me go, said Hinata while admiring the black ring on her finger. Like we would do that. You sold the villages of the sand into slavery, said Temari. If you don't, I will kill everyone in this room and still get away. So do you guys really want to see all your friends again? Because I know want to, and if you do I'll happily give it to you, said Hinata as black tattoos ran across her body and one of her eyes turned totally black. Naruto's red eyes narrowed as he looked at the woman who used to be his friend. Go, growled Naruto. See, Naruto, that is your biggest weakness. You care too much about your friends and loved ones. You can't stand seeing them hurt, said Hinata. Wait, how do you know she didn't plant paper bombs around the village, said Tsunade. Unlike Orochimaru, Sasuke-kun doesn't hide because when he comes you will know, said Hinata. Now I must be leaving, until we meet again. With that Hinata disappeared. We are in trouble, said Naruto as his eyes turned back to blue. That is the understatement of the year, said Sakura as her eyes also changed back. We have to move fast before they get the demons. Hold on, what in the world just happened? Asked Ino. Long story short, Hinata went crazy after she realized that she couldn't have me. Add a curse mark and studying under Sasuke. It equals out that she becomes the heartless evil you just saw, said Naruto. Wait, are you telling me that Hinata, our friend Hinata, led to our deaths? Asked Ino. She isn't our friend anymore, but yes, said Sakura. I can't believe that, she is so sweet, so kind, she could never be the woman we just saw, said Kurenai unable to believe that was Hinata. She is, and she is more evil than what you just saw. In fact, that is one of the nicest she has ever been to us. Only 2 people normally it is at least 5, said Naruto as Sakura tried to help Kurenai understand. Kurenai, the girl you helped raise is gone, believe me, she is pure evil. I saw her kill a defenseless 7-year-old boy, said Sakura. No, I refuse to believe that she would hurt anyone, said Kurenai. That boy was yours and Asuma's son, said Sakura as Kurenai's and Asuma's eyes widened. It was during the first days of the attack on the village itself. Konohamaru was assigned to evacuate the kids from one of the shelters that was about to be overrun. However, just as he started, Hinata and 24 sound Junin appeared. He never stood a chance, he was killed and the kids were taken to be sold. The newborns, since they wouldn't remember anything, they were taken to the Sound Village to be trained as the next generation of Sound Ninja. Your son tired to fight back, so she snapped his N. She also knew who he was. Asuma's and Kurenai's eye looked down at the ground. Yes, your own student killed your son, said Naruto as red chakra poured out of him. And I will K her for that and all those other things she and her husband did. Shikamaru, Temari, go home, grab your things, we are heading out. We need to move fast and get the demons out of play. If we can do that, we stand a good chance against them. We leave in 1 hour. Naruto and Sakura disappeared and the Naris ran out the door. What just happened? Asked Tenten. Like he said, we are in trouble, said Tsunade, wondering how she would explain this to the council. We are here, said Konan as she and Pain approached the gate to Konohagakure at sunrise. I think I can use my eyes, said Pain as he pulled his hat down so that the Chunin at the gate couldn't tell who they were. As soon as the two of them entered the village, they went to a food stand. So, now what are we going to do? Asked Konan. Simple put, we wait till some competent Junin comes by and runs to the Hokage, said Pain. Besides, it has been a while since I had food this good. In the sound base. Good morning, Sasuke-kun, who are we going to K? Said Hinata as she stood in front of her husband, who was sitting behind Orochimaru's old D-skill. Well, I was thinking no, that the dupe will head out and go after the most powerful demon that the Akatsuki hadn't gotten yet. The five-tailed dog Hoku, said Sasuke as he handed Hinata a file. Sir, I am sending you out again. I can't go yet, I am still setting everything up. Hinata looked into the folder and smiled. This is going to be fun, said Hinata as she closed the file. I knew that you would like that, said Sasuke. So did you have fun last night at the Namikazes? Yes, but not as much fun I will have when I see the mess, said Hinata as she disappeared out the door. Back in the Leaf Village. Lady Hokage yelled an Anbu as he crashed through the door. What? Asked Tsunade. There are 2 Akatsuki members at the Akumi food stand, said the Anbu as Tsunade's eyes widened. Gather all the Anbu and Junin in the village. Have them meet at the stand and get that pervert there as well. Pain, do you mind if I have some fun with these fools? Asked Konan. Go right ahead, it has been a while since we saw our old pervert sensei, said Pain as he sensed Tsunade and Jiraiya along with all of ANBU in the village started to head to their location as Konan did a genjutsu to make the two of them look like Itachi and Kisame. Soon Tsunade stood in front of them. So Itachi, Kisame, you have returned to get Naruto, Tsunade said while looking at the 2 Akatsuki members who were ignoring her presence. Lady Hokage, we only want to see the Namikaze, said Itachi. Pain. Well, the last Namikaze sealing the Kyuubi, said Tsunade. How in the world do they know about Naruto? Don't play games with us, Hokage. We know about Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze coming from the future, said Kisame. Konan. Tsunade, get back, you don't know who you're up against, yelled a new voice as Jiraiya appeared next to her. Without even looking at Tsunade, he glared at the 2 Akatsuki members. So the old pervert has some brains, said Itachi. Pain, as he and Kisame, Konan, stood up and dropped their hedges, showing everyone who they were up against. You see, Lady Hokage, you and this village stand no real chance against us. We could K hundreds of people before you even lay a hand on us, said Konan. Now I suggest you go get the Namikaze, we only wish to talk. Talk? The Akatsuki never talk, said Tsunade. We talk when it suits us, said Pain. Now bring us the Namikazes. I can't, he left on a mission, said Tsunade, to stop you guys and Sasuke Uchiha from destroying this village. Wait, we heard that the Uchiha was said Konan. He used the time travel jutsu to come back, he is now leading the sound, said Tsunade as Pain and Konan looked at each other. Well, it seems, Lady Hokage, that we have a common enemy, said Pain. So what is that old saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend? Meanwhile, on the border of Earth and Fire country. I can't believe that the snakes are back, growled Sakura as her husband and the Naris crossed from the woods of Fire country into the Rocky Mountain ranges that made up Earth County. I know, I thought we had finally gotten rid of them, said Naruto. In some ways I am happy that they are back, said Temari as everyone looked at her. It gives me the chance to K the person who destroyed both my old and new home. Well, looks like you get your wish, but first let's get the Biju out of play, said Shikamaru. With them out of the way, we stand a chance of winning a war against Sasuke. It will also take time for Sasuke to establish his complete control over the sound. That is something in our favor, but we ked 2 Akatsuki members and they ked Orochimaru. We sealed Gaara's demon, we are going to get the one of the last 3 Bijuas that is in play. Then we will deal with the snakes, said Naruto as they entered a mountain range. It was the mountain range 5-tailed demon dog. Back in the Leaf Village. I just can't believe that Hinata could do some of the things that they said she did, said Ino as Shichuji, Kiba, Shino sat eating some lunch. Yeah, I wouldn't believe it, but it smelled like her and looked like her as well, said Kiba as he looked down at his food. I heard that since both of our squads lost a member, they are reorganizing the squads, said Chuji as he ate some food. Really? Asked Ino. Yeah, I don't know how they are going to set it up, but on some levels it doesn't matter, does it? Said Chuji. I mean, who are we trying to kid? Our friends are not the same people we knew. The friends we knew are gone and they are never coming back. Imagine how they feel, said Shino as everyone looked at the quiet ninja. Everyone they meet in a span of 9 years doesn't remember them. They saw everyone they know but now they are alive again. I can see your point, said Ino. Well, I have to get going, said Chuji as he stood up. My mom is making lunch. Chuji, we are eating lunch now, yelled Ino. Yeah, I know, said Chuji as he left. I too must be leaving, said Shino as he left, leaving Ino and Kiba alone. So, how are you doing? Asked Kiba, a little bit uncertain on how to talk to her. Kiba, you don't have to act different around me, said Ino as she leaned back. Just because in the future timeline we ended up together doesn't mean we will get together this time around. I know that it is just weird, you know that we were married to each other in their timeline, said Kiba. Yeah, I know it's weird, but we just have to get over that and let nature take its course. If we are meant to be together in the future, then it will happen when it happens, said Ino as she avoided looking at Kiba. Yeah, if it happens, said Kiba as he pulled out his wallet. Here, let me pay for you. No, I'll pay for myself, said Ino as the two glared at each other. Akamaru just shook his doggy head, knowing that neither of them would give up an argument. Meanwhile, in the Hokage's office. What in the world is going on? Thought Tsunade as she rubbed her temples. Just down the hall, two of the most powerful, if not the most power ninjas in world sat. I didn't sign up to deal with time travelers and all the problems they bring. Lady Tsunade, said Shizune as she walked into the room holding a file. I found the file that they were talking about. So is it true what they say? Asked Tsunade. I will quote from Naruto's report, said Shizune as she pulled out the file and started reading. We got word from our spy in the sound that Sasuke Uchiha after King his brother, Itachi Uchiha. Then using his brother's ring which contained the Yamato no Orochi, he engaged in combat against the current leader of the Akatsuki, Pain. After a long battle, Sasuke killed Pain and took his ring, making him the new leader of the Akatsuki. After his victory, Sasuke Uchiha made the 8 members of the Akatsuki into the top 8 leaders of the sound. They go as following. Sasuke Uchiha, 8-tailed serpent, Yamato no Orochi, leader. Hinata Uchiha, 7-tailed badger, Kaku, second command. Karen, 6-tailed weasel, Raiju, head scientist. Sugetsu Huzuki, 5-tailed dog, Hoku, general. Thanks, but I don't need to know the rest, said Tsunade. How in the world did those guys find out about that? I haven't even read all those files and they're just down the hall. So how did they find that single report? However, it doesn't matter now. Is there anything I can do, Lady Tsunade? Said Shizune. Yes, call the council to an emergency meeting, said Tsunade. Lady Hokage, you already called an emergency meeting to explain about Sasuke and Hinata returning. It is in 1 hour, said Tsunade. Well, tell them I want them there now, yelled Tsunade. In the mountain range. Give me your hand, Sakura-chan, said Naruto as he stood on top of a relatively large rock. Sakura took her husband's hand as he helped pull her up. I can see why the refugees from the rock village would hide out here after Sasuke took the village, said Shikamaru as he looked over the almost unending mountain range. Yeah, it almost impassable, and with all the caves would give title from the weather, said Temari. However, it would have been hard to find food. Still, a free life like this is better than being or enslaved. We are stopping that from happening, said Naruto as he looked out over the range. Just then he saw movement. Slowly in the distance a large creature appeared. It was about the size of the Hokage mountain, however it fit well with the giant snow-topped mountains. It had 2 black lines running across its face through the eyes. It had its white fur on its face, but the rest was black. Naruto could clearly make out 5 black tails. Naruto-kun, what do you see? Asked Sakura. I see the 5-tailed demon and it is heading our way, said Naruto with a smile. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.